Brother Nakwam, Watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, all honor and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashima Mashiach, Wamalak Yabushai, double honors to the elect elders of the house of David, that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Hamashiach, Wamalak Yabushai, a hearty, mighty shalom to all of the men of the Lord who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing the truth, magnifying the ministry, doing the work of the Most High. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, holding it down in the households, reverent to the husbands, being submissive, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom, shalom. The topic of this cold cut is how to handle dreams and visions in the truth, right? How to handle dreams, visions. Some brothers that may fall into a trance, what the difference is, what they have in common, how should we handle them? What do they mean? How do we know if one is from the Most High? How do we know if one is vain? What action should we take? So I want to kind of cover these various questions and topics and a quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Awashad. Let's kick it off in the book of Joel, chapter 2, and verse 27. Right, Joel 2 and 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed. Right? And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. Right? And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids. And those days will I pour out my spirit. So these are the days you're living in now. Now, this was ultimately first taking place when you read the book of Acts, the second chapter. Right? When you read Acts chapter 2, around 14 through 17, Peter, the apostle, used this verse and wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, because when the Holy Spirit fell upon them at Pentecost, the disciples, they were able to speak in other tongues, meaning other languages, right? And even though they spoke their own tongue, everybody heard it in the language where they were born. You can read that account in Acts, the second chapter. And that was a fulfillment of this prophecy. Now, certain prophecies are fulfilled in the ancient world, but they also have another meaning in this present evil world. Like when you read Matthew the 24th chapter, or Mark the 13th chapter, or Luke the 21st chapter, that prophecy deals with 70 AD, but a lot of those prophecies also are going into these times now. Same thing with this, right? The Lord said, in these days, let me read this again, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. So the Lord is pouring out his spirit upon the Israelites, man. Right? The so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man, woman, and child. And you're being connected to the Most High based off of the prophecies and based off of your spirit bearing witness with these scriptures through the Comforter. And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. And that's happening. You have men going out in the highways and byways foretelling what the Most High is going to do, speaking the judgments of the end of the world and the resurrection of the 12 tribes. You even have women having dreams and visions, and they're noticing that certain things are coming to pass that they had dreams about, right? Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. So there's going to be a great influx of dreams and visions that will befall us in the last days. And a lot of brothers and sisters, they're having these dreams. They're having visions, right? They're having dreams of chariots. They're having dreams of the missiles dropping. They're having dreams about the end of the world and Jacob's trouble. They're having dreams about being delivered. They have dreams about the kingdom. They have dreams about what's going to befall them the next week or the next day. So this goes to major dreams and even, minor dreams, right? And these aren't folly dreams. The dreams in this verse is speaking about dreams that deal with the spiritual world, right? When you go to the book of Second Ezra, right? Let's go to Second Ezra chapter 10. Let's get a precept on that. Let's go to Second Ezra chapter 10. And a lot of brothers can attest that, hey, yeah, I did have a dream, right? I had a biblical dream about, X, Y, and Z. And you may have woken up. Maybe your heart was pounding. Maybe you scratched your head trying to figure out what this dream means. Hey, maybe you knew what that dream meant, man. And maybe through the spirit, you were able to interpret it and break it down. Right? So this second Ezra, chapter 10, Slocking, I want verse 36. I want to kind of go through this quickly with the time that I have. All right. Second Ezra, chapter 10 and verse, actually, I'm going to start at 34. All right. Second Ezra, chapter 10 and 34. Then said I, speak on, my Lord, in me, only forsake me not, lest I die frustrate of my hope. Because remember, Ezra had a vision earlier in this chapter, right? And you can read that account on your own with the woman that represented the city and the years that represented the desolation, right? And he said unto me, stand up manfully, and I will advise thee. Then said I, speak on, my Lord. It's like I'm reading 34 again. Only frustrate me not, lest I die. It's like you. Only forsake me not, lest I frustrate of my hope. For I have seen that I knew not, and hear that I do not know. Because certain trances and dreams, you may not really understand it, man. And really, it takes a servant of the Most High to be able to break it down. You have to be in the spirit to be able to break that dream down, because a lot of things are analogous, right, to certain things in the scriptures. So water, you may have water in a dream, right? But now you know that water could represent the word of the Most High. Water can represent the nations. Water can represent wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? So water can mean manifold things. You may have a dream of wild beasts, man, and that could be men, right? So you want to be able to understand what these dreams mean. And when you have a dream and you may not have the understanding, you may go to a particular prophet, right? Or a man of the Lord, and they can be able to break it down. Right? And there are women that can break down dreams too. You have prophetess and things of that nature, but mainly the men of the Most High, they're set up to be able to interpret these dreams. You had men like Daniel, men like Joseph, Jacob. A lot of these men could observe dreams and knew what the deal was. And there are men like that on the earth right now. Right? Let's read on. Verse 35 again. For I have seen that I knew not, and hear that I do not know. Or is my sense deceived, or my soul in a dream? So a dream is spiritual. So your soul encounters the dream. The Most High taps into your soul and into your spiritual realm and puts you in a particular environment, for lack of better terms, outside of reality, when you're able to see spiritual things. Right? Now, Esau, he tries to break it down, and he says, look, well, your dreams come when you're in your REM sleep. He calls it your REM sleep, which stands for your rapid eye movement. Right? That's your rapid eye movement, and that's your deep slumbering. And certain prophecies and dreams and precepts say, and the deep slumberings upon the bed. So when you're in that deep, deep slumber, that's when the Most High really tap into you and kind of put your soul inside of that dream, right? Because your flesh isn't there. You can feel pain in a dream. You may feel water in a dream. You may feel excitement and fear in a dream, but that's your soul, right? Connected essentially to the flesh. Let's go to the book of Genesis chapter 15 and 1, right? So the Most High deals with these on a spiritual level. Now, this Genesis chapter 15 and 1. After these things, the word of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, came into Abram in a vision, saying, fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. So Abram had a vision, right? So a vision and a dream, they somewhat go hand in hand. Now, a dream is when you're in your deep, deep slumberings. You can have a vision in your deep, deep slumberings, or you can kind of just fall asleep, or you could be awake and have a vision, right? Or the Bible also calls it a trance. When you read the book of Numbers, the 24th chapter, Balaam had his eyes wide open, but he fell into a trance. Some people, they call it daydreaming on a small level. Like daydreaming is a small level trance. But then the Most High could put you in a deep trance when you disconnect from reality and you focus on what the Most High imparts into your spirit. Now, you can have a trance or a dream or a vision to warn you about to get yourself right. You can have one slaki for prophecy to let you know what's going to come on the earth. The Most High can comfort you with a dream. You may have been stressed out or dealing with a particular situation, and the Most High put you in a trance or gave you a vision to be able to comfort you. The Most High can scare you and fear you with dreams. And the brother already pulled that precept. And there are other precepts we can go to that speak on that. Right? So these are the different things that the Most High did. The Most High put Abram in a vision. Right? Let's get another precept on that. Let's go to Job chapter 33. Right? Let's go to Job chapter 33 and verse 13. All right, this is Job chapter 33 and 13. Why doest thou strive against him? For he giveth not account of any of his matters. And can the brother pull that definition up? Vision. Right? We're going to get that word vision so brothers can understand what it means when the Most High gives you a vision. We can get that definition if a brother got time. Right? If not, it's all good. We can look it up on our own. So this Job chapter 33 and 13. Why doest thou strive against him? For he giveth not account of any of his matters. Meaning the Most High don't owe you an explanation to anything. All right? For the Most High speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not. Because the Most High could talk to you through another person. Right? A brother might come to you and say, hey, Ak, look, man, you've been acting real proud lately, man. You need to get right. And then a man may say, psh, whatever. And they'll just say, who are you to tell me that I'm being proud? You're not the Most High. But that man who says those things, he's on a low level, not realizing that the Most High can use any vessel to talk to you. And the Most High can talk to you through one man and say you're being proud. Hey, then a spirit might hop on your woman. She say, hey, you've been acting proud. That's the Most High warning you once and twice, but man won't get it because man is on a low level and man has a low discernment. So now the Most High has to say, this guy won't listen, so I'm going to have to tap into him in a dream. All right, let's read that. Verse 15. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men. Okay, so like this might put the definition. Okay, the faculty from Mukmuk to General Thawada, and ancients knew why don't we, the faculty or state of being able to see, the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. Let's see. Okay, here's a definition. The ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. Vision, sight presented to the mind through a dream. Vision or non-objective stimulus. See that? So the Most High allows your soul to see particular things through a dream. All right. So sometimes they're interchangeable. And sometimes you can have a vision and not be in deep sleep. Right. And I'm going to show you that in Numbers, the 24th chapter. But let me read this and throw out for the definition. Job chapter 33 and 15. And a dream and a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men and slumberings upon the bed. And that's when you get those dreams. Now, some people, they get certain dreams. They get sleep paralysis, right? They call it, there's a term, I can't quite think of it, incubus or succubus, or some of these spirits, there are names given to particular spirits that man has given that kind of hold you down and you can't move, or you see these spirits trying to come in your room, or tap you on the shoulder or whisper to you, or an angel may visit you. And sometimes that happens as soon as you fall asleep, right? Soon as you fall asleep, you go into that trance, or these spirits come to you, Then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instruction. So the Most High opens up your mind. That's what this means. And programs you what to do by a vision or by a dream, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man. See that? So the Most High, he will tap into your mind at nighttime and program you to do what you're going to do that following day. And you don't even know it. You see that? So you may have wanted to go down road A, and road A may have been nothing but pits and snares and death and destruction. And man has tried to warn you twice, and you refuse to listen. So now the Most High has to come to you in a dream and program your steps and download those GPS into you, for lack of better terms. So now you have to go down road B. He has to do somewhat of a divine intervention, for lack of better terms, because man is proud. You see that? So the Most High can tap into your mind when what? In deep sleep. And there are different types of sleep. You could be in deep sleep. You could kind of just fall asleep for a minute. Or you can have what Esau called your REM sleep, or your REM sleep, when your eyes are moving rapidly back and forth. They do studies on that. When people go into those deep sleeps, their eyes move back and forth over and over and over and over again. And that's the Most High controlling their eyes. And he kind of increase their spirit, for lack of better terms. And they begin to see spiritual things. Right, let's go to Numbers chapter 24. Right, let's get a precept on that. Let's go to Numbers chapter 24 and verse 4. All right, this Numbers, I'm going to start at 3. Numbers chapter 24 and 3. And he took up his parable and said, Balaam, the son of Beor, hath said, the man whose eyes were open hath said, he hath said, which heard the words of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance, but having his eyes open. So the Most High can have you go in a daydream, right? And you kind of tap out, man. People got to say, hey. And they say, where are you at? And then you come back to reality, man. Because you were in a lower level trance. Esau calls it a daydream. But the Most High can put you in a high level trance, where even if somebody's pushing you and calling your name, you don't hear them. You're completely disconnected from this terrestrial plane. And you're somewhere in a spiritual realm, and you may see things that the Most High has given you. You could be in a trance and see judgment coming, prophecy, spiritual beings and angels and chariots. The Most High can open up your mind to see these things, man. To put you into a trance. And that's what happened to Balaam. So sometimes a brother can actually fall into a trance. Now Esau, what they try to do is they want to put you in a trance. They want to hypnotize you. Right? They do sorcery now to induce you to fall into a trance, man. Right? Or to induce a trance on you. So what they'll do is they'll wave that clock in front of you, that damn pocket watch with the gold chain, and they say, look, just close your eyes and fall back and remember when you were 5 years old and you had no cares in the world or no problems. And you kind of fall asleep, man. And they say, relax your mind. So you have to kind of kick out that stress, and they want to put you into a relaxed state. Because naturally, your spirit got those walls up. So they want you to kick those walls down so they can send them demons inside of you. You got these guys barking like dogs, man. They say, when I snap my fingers, you're going to be a Martian. You're going to bark like a dog. You're going to do X, Y, and Z. So these guys, they put these spirits and demons on you. And Jake, you do these things. I got to see the hypnotist. Right? I'm having bad dreams. I'm stressed out. And you're paying $350 a session to see a demon and a wizard. So now they clap their damn fingers or snap their fingers, and you forget your damn past, man. And some people get stuck like that. Hey, these guys are touching you, man. You fall asleep, they touching you, you wake up, and you're trying to figure out, what the hell happened, Then they hold their hand out and say, hey, look, I need the bread. So you don't want to deal with these nations because they want to force the hand of the Most High by putting these spirits on you. All right, let's go to the book of Daniel. Let's go to Acts 10. All right, so if the Most High put you in a trance, it could be for particular reasons. All right, let's go to Acts chapter 10 at verse 10. Right, because Peter fell into a trance. Let's go to Acts chapter 10, Salakia, and verse 10. And there are many times I've had dreams, visions, right? Brothers, you've had dreams and visions, and Some of them are to instill zeal in you, man, to make you go harder in the truth. Some may be used for you to examine yourself. You know, you want to take some of these dreams serious, and some dreams you don't take too serious. Right? And the dream could pretty much be a final warning, man. You know, to get right. And if you don't take heed to that dream, hey, the Most High may sift you out, man. If it's a dream worthy of accepting. Because all dreams aren't profitable. Let's go to Acts the 10th chapter, Salakia. All right, this Acts chapter 10, and I'm going to start at 9. On the morrow, as they went on their journey and drew nigh into the city, Peter went up upon the house to pray about the 6th hour. That's around 12 p.m. And he became very hungry and would have eaten. But while they made ready, he fell into a trance. All right. And saw heaven open, and a certain vessel descending unto him, and as it had been a great sheet knit at four corners and let down to the earth. See that? So he went up to pray. So he wasn't asleep. He kind of just went into a trance. Right? And the Most High allowed him to see particular things that pertain to our people and salvation. And brothers put a good comment up there. HBKN. Sometimes Satan will give you dreams of lust. Yeah, that's right, man. Hey, you'll have a lewd, nasty dream, a wicked dream, and you'll wake up like, damn, I can't believe I dreamed that, man. And two, to add to that, a lot of these dreams come from the multitude of business, right? Because you may have had a dream. This isn't always the case, but you may have had a dream about something lewd and vile, but that's because you were that was deep in your conscience, right? Because the Most High deals with your conscience too, right? Which really goes into your mind. Let me get that first in Sirach 14. You may have been thinking about work all day, right? And it's deep in your conscience. So don't be surprised if you have a dream about the workplace, right? Oh, wow, I had a dream at work. Maybe, what does that mean? Brother, don't mean nothing, brother. It just means that's all you think about. So what you give your mind over to, don't be surprised if you have dreams about those things. All right, this Ecclesiasticus chapter 14 and verse 2. Blessed is he who's conscious. Can a brother pull up that word conscious, Baba Kasha? Right? Blessed is he whose conscience hath not condemned him, and who is not fallen from his hope in the Lord. So the Most High deals with your soul that can be in a dream. The Most High deals with trances, visions, and deep slumberings upon the bed. And the Most High can tap into your conscience and extract thoughts out of your conscience and relay it in a dream. All right, so let's deal with that word conscience. And let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and 3. All right, let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 3. Right, let's deal with that. This Ecclesiastes, Slakia, chapter 5 and verse 3. It reads, for a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by the multitude of words. So again, if you're deep in your conscience, all you're thinking about is women and a wife and laying down and sex and vanity, what do you think you're going to dream about? You're going to dream about those things, man, because that's in your spirit. And your flesh pretty much brings that up in the night visions, man. Okay, so here's conscience. Okay, so Thawada for the definition. An inner feeling or a voice viewed as acting as a guide to the rightness or wrongness of one's behavior. Right? And from Slim D. Thawada, it reads, a person's moral sense of right and wrong viewed as acting as a guide to one's behavior. Right? So your conscience is really pretty much your mind, but it goes into your mind's discernment between good and evil. That's why it says, blessed is the man whose conscience has not condemned him. Because guess what? If you go off and deal with a prostitute or commit fornication, a righteous man's conscience is going to condemn him. His spirit is going to feel broken because he knows that what he did was wrong. He's going to feel guilty. His mind is going to feel guilty. His spirit is going to be overwhelmed, and he's going to put his head down. Now, the Lord said, blessed is the man whose conscience hath not condemned him. Meaning that man moves upright. He makes the right decisions and has a high level of discernment. So he doesn't feel bad about going off because he's going to do the right thing according to the law. Now, in Ecclesiastes 5:3, it says, for a dream cometh through the multitude of business. And again, whatever you're occupied in your day-to-day life, whatever activities you're bound in, and whatever you give your mind over to, you're bound to dream about those things. So you can't take every dream as if it's some great big deal, some in-depth breakdown given to you by the Most High. Right? You have a conscience. You have a soul and a spirit. And when you read Wisdom of Solomon, the 9th chapter, it speaks about how the earthly body presseth down the soul, and the mind that museth upon many things. Right? So let's get that real quick. This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9 and verse 13. I'm going to read straight to the point. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9 and 14. For the thoughts of mortal men, for the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain. Right? Our devices are but uncertain. For the corruptible body presseth down the soul, and the earthly tabernacle, which is your flesh, weigheth down the mind that museth upon many things. See that? So the earthly tabernacle weigheth down the soul. So your flesh, for lack of better terms, it overrides your spirit. All right? It overrides your spirit. So you can't figure out things that are too high, because the Lord has set the world in your heart. So if you're trying to figure out what the Most High is doing and you're speaking about spiritual things that you can't comprehend, it's not really that your spirit can't obtain it. It's because the Most High put boundaries on you and limitations on your spirit. And the chief limitation is your flesh. So that's why your conscience is going to bring up throughout these dreams, bring up things that your flesh is always occupied in. And again, if your flesh is always occupied in making boxes or picking things up and putting them down or being in a factory, your flesh is going to weigh down your spirit. And then by default, that's going to trigger a dream about what you were doing in the flesh. Right? Even though dreams are spiritual. Let's go to the book of, let's go to the book of Job, chapter 7. Right? I had that written down. The brother pulled that one earlier. Actually, let's go to Sirach chapter 34. So don't take every dream to heart. Every dream is not meant to be laid to heart. Certain dreams are folly dreams. I think I had a dream one day in the truth. A long time ago, I was in the NFL. Right? Now, what am I supposed to sit there and wake up and say, damn, man, maybe I should hang up my garment and, see who's doing tryouts? No. You would be a fool. Just because you had a dream you was in an NBA or, you were 6'10", right? What does that mean? You take that to, maybe I should be taller. Maybe I should walk a little taller. Maybe, no, brother. Right? And in that dream, I think I tackled Michael Vick, man. He was about to score a touchdown, but I kind of tackled him. So what the hell does that mean? It means nothing. And you wake up, you scratch your head, and you chalk it up as folly, and you just keep it moving, man. But then you may have dreams, and I told brothers about this dream, but I'm not going to tell the whole dream right now, right? But I had a dream, a spiritual dream, a few days ago, man, about a bridge and the water and, self-examination, and the bridge closed up, and it was a high-level spiritual dream. So that dream I took to heart. Right? And the Most High gave me the spirit to interpret that dream. right? So you have spiritual dreams and you have folly dreams. You have dreams that are demonic, that Satan comes in to trouble you, and you have dreams that are deep about your conscience, overriding the flesh. And those are the dreams that come throughout the multitude of business, right? So let's go to Sirach chapter 34. Okay, let's go to Ecclesiasticus, right? Chapter 34 and verse 1. And don't be upset if you don't have deep dreams or visions, and don't put your head down. A lot of brothers, oh, I don't get no dreams from the Most High. Maybe the Most High not dealing with me. Maybe I'm not a man of the Lord. Well, brother, there are spiritual gifts. Remember, Joseph and Daniel had deep visions and dreams, but not every prophet did. There's no Elijah had different gifts than Daniel did. Daniel was given that gift by the Most High. Elijah had his own gift. All right? So every prophet has different gifts given to him by the Most High. Now, you may have dreams and visions and have other gifts. Another brother may just get dreams and visions, but you may have more faith than that brother. So again, don't be discouraged if you don't get dreams as often as the next man. All right? So let's go to Sirach chapter 34. A lot of brothers, they dwell on that. Ecclesiasticus chapter 34 and 1. The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false, and dreams lift up fools. So you might, it's like I said, you might have had a dream about you, I don't know, being the president, man. I don't know, something folly. Hey, a fool will get lifted up by that. Wow, I'll be the president. Oh boy. And then they start buying suits and ties and, making picket signs about them running for office, and they spend their rent money on a billboard that says vote for me, and they fall into destruction. Right? Whoso regardeth the dreams is like him that catcheth at a shadow and followeth after the wind. Can you really follow after the wind and catch it? No. So certain dreams don't give your mind to it, because you'll constantly be trying to figure out what it means. Right? Now, certain dreams you really want to get the breakdown on, because it could trouble your flesh, and you might want to go to a prophet or a brother that's good with dreams and the scriptures and has a high level of discernment. Those are the men you want to go to. All right? That can break your dreams down for you. Every brother can't break a dream down. All right? Because those brothers, they're going to pour precepts. They're going to, have a level of discernment when it goes into that dream. All right? So don't chase vanity. Verse 3. The vision of dreams is the resemblance of one thing to another, and as the likeness of a face to face. And again, that goes back into dreams coming throughout the multitude of business. Right? So certain dreams, they resemble things. All right? Of an unclean thing. Actually, I want to jump down. Let me get straight to the point. Verse 5. Divinations and soothsayings and dreams are vain, and the heart fancieth as a woman's heart in travail, if they be not sent from the Most High. In thy visitation, set not thy heart upon them. I'm going to read that again. If they be not sent from the Most High. In thy visitation, meaning if it's not a spiritual dream, if it's not something that's biblical, something prophetic, something that can coincide with scripture, if it doesn't have to do with those things, you don't have to dwell on it. Right? If you had a dream about you driving a car and you went to get gas and then you woke up, ain't nothing to think about, brother. Right? Ain't nothing to think about. Well, what does the gas mean? Maybe the gas is speaking about the air. Okay, because the air in the firmament was on the first day or the second day. So that means on the second day of the week, I have to go and not go to work because the gas. Brother, stop. You don't have to go that far. All right. Every dream don't require in-depth breakdown. All right. Well, I had this dream that I was dealing with this woman, and this woman, and she. Well, brother, that's because you were just freaking off last night, man, on sites that you shouldn't have been on. Right? Doing God knows what in the middle of the night. That's why you had that lewd dream. So again, don't fancy after every dream. If you have a dream about chariots or about judgment or prophecy, or there are spiritual things that, it has certain elements in it like fire or water, or, people that represent things and similitudes. And, those are the things you want to kind of think about. All right. They deal with trees, and they have to be according to the scriptures. And really, you will only know if your dream is spiritual, for one, if you got discernment, or two, if you ask a prophet and they could break that dream down for you. And they could say, no, that's folly. Or they say, damn, that was a deep dream. And they'll kind of break it down and show you what it means. All right. Sirach chapter 34 and verse 7. For dreams have deceived many, and they have failed that put their trust in them. All right, that's plain. So dreams can deceive you, man. Don't get too caught up in dreams and these visions. But again, if they are sent from the Most High and they're prophetic and spiritual, you act accordingly. Certain dreams are used to warning. And guess what? That can be your last warning. So if you don't take heed to that dream, it can be lights out for you. Certain dreams are sent twice to you. And you know for a certainty, if you have a dream and it's sent twice, then you know that's sent from the Most High. Whether you have it back-to-back nights, or, you may have it a week apart. All right, let's get that in Genesis chapter 41. All right, because remember, Pharaoh had a dream, and Joseph told him, for this cause, their dream was doubled unto you twice. All right, let's get that real quick. Genesis, and I have to wind down, right? Got to wind down. This Genesis chapter 41 and 32. It reads, and for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by the Most High, and the Most High will shortly bring it to pass. So that's something you want to take heed to. If you have a dream about you driving down road A, and that's the road you always take to work, but in that dream you had a dream that, it was a bad accident, and you broke your neck, or you died, you was in a hospital. Then you woke up like, oh, wow. Whew, what does that mean? Right? Then the next night, you went to sleep and you had that same dream. Hey, maybe you shouldn't go down road A. Right? Maybe you should, hey, look, I ain't taking road A, man. I had 2 dreams about me breaking my neck and going through an accident. I'm going to take road B. Then you turn on the news, and guess what, man? It was an accident on road A. And you say, all praise to Yahweh Bashmi Abashai, because he warned you about that dream. Right? So the Most High can comfort you through a dream. You might be stressed out and, anxiety, anxious, and the Most High can come to you in a dream and show you the future about what you were stressed about. Right? You might have had a dream about you not getting a job, or, you being lonely or whatever. The Most High may have given you a dream about you having sons and daughters with your wife, man, with your future wife. And your wife and your sons were in order, and that was to comfort you, man. You might have had a dream about you not really, doing well at a particular thing, and the Most High kind of gave you a dream, and, when you got the job, and, you were successful, or, and you was kind of doing things, man. Or you was growing in the truth, or you might have had a demon on you, and the Most High could have given you a dream about that demon being bounded up, man. Right? And cast out into the abyss. Or the Most High can give you dreams to terrify you. Right? Because you're going to hell off and you're being wicked. So the Most High got to send a demon on you in the middle of the night to trouble you and to chastise you. And that's a fearful thing. Job chapter 7 and verse 13. When I say, my bed shall comfort me, my couch shall ease my complaint. Because, when you have a hard day, you might say, man, I just want to sleep it off, man. I just want to relax. Then what happened? Then thou scarest me with dreams, and terrifiest me through visions, so that my soul chooseth strangling and death rather than life. Because you can have a dream and you wake up and your heart is pounding. Some people have heart attacks in their dream. People have heart attacks while they're asleep. Strange apparitions the Most High may give you. That's another thing the Most High deals with. He deals with trances, dreams, visions, and apparitions. When you read Wisdom of Solomon, the 18th chapter and the 19th chapter, and the 17th chapter, it speaks about the apparitions that the Most High gave the Egyptians. And he put them in these trances, and they saw faces of sad countenance, and they heard wild beasts running at them, and they heard great drops of water like a waterfall, and a lot of these men died, man. You know, they died through those visions that the Most High gave them. So it's a fearful thing, man, to fall into the hands of the Lord. When you fall asleep, then the Most High kill you in your sleep through a vision and a trance. He don't have to kill you with a gunshot or, the Most High, he's the destroyer. How do you say, man, it's 1,000 ways to die, choose one, man. Go off if you want to. The Most High will send these spirits on you to trouble you. But with that, I got to close up, giving, of course, all honor and glory to Yahweh. Ba'ashima Mashiach Wamalak Yahushai. Most High willing you were edified. And again, when you have these dreams and visions and you don't understand them, pray to the Most High for discernment. You may have to go on a fast. You ask the Lord, Lord, you gave me this dream. Look, I don't know what it means. I don't want to regard it if it's not sent from you. It's just vanity. Lord, if this is sent from you, show me what I have to do and what it means. You say what you want to say in righteousness, man, and sincerity. And you go to the Most High and you pray to the Most High to give you the interpretation of the dream. And you may have to pray consistently, man. Or you may go to, after your dream, you may go to a particular prophet and ask that brother what that dream may mean. And that dream, he may say, this is what it's talking about. And the Most High could be talking through him to break that dream down for you. And you got to take heed to that dream. So these are the things that ought to be done in the last days concerning dreams and visions. And these things may increase more and more, man. You may have dreams again about Jacob's trouble, the end of the world, martial law. Remember, Joseph had a dream that Herod sought to kill Yahushua. So the angel in Matthew 1:20 came to Joseph in a dream and said, flee into Egypt. Before all hell break loose, the Most High can come to you in a dream with an angel and say, look, New York is about to go down. That is not the place to be. LA is about to go down. That's not the place to be. Arise, get up, and flee into this land. And I will preserve you, man. And guess what? You got to wake up and take heed to that dream. You can't, I don't know what that means. I'm going to just fast on it. No, brother, you better get up, man. And guess what? The Lord preserved Yahushua life, man. Due to the grace of the Most High, and that Joseph hearkened into that dream. So pay attention to these dreams. Pray for discernment. If you're not good at interpreting dreams and breaking them down, observe these things like Jacob did Joseph in Genesis, the 37th chapter. And these things may come, man. And again, don't put your head down if you don't have dreams or visions like that, right? Because the Most High may give you those dreams in due time, or that you may not be ready to handle those dreams, man, because you may not be able to deal with it, right? So with that, I'm going to close up. Again, giving our honor and glory to Yahweh. Ba'ashima Mashiach Wamalak Yahushai. Most High willing you were edified. Kwam Yashalom. Shalom.